Just want you to close your eyes for a second with me and just adopt a kind of inquisitive mentality. And just step into the attitude of a scientist, maybe. A scientist isn't investigating an object to find some kind of desired result from the investigation. If you're a scientist, you have to lead an open investigation, the result of which is to reveal that which was always and already true about reality, but that we couldn't see before. In the same way, when you're inquiring into the nature of your own experience through what you might call meditation, you want to adopt the attitude that you're trying to see the way that your experience already is. You're not trying to find some special way of being or discover something that wasn't there before. You're not trying to add anything. You're not going about this kind of self-inquiry in order to find something else or get some desired result. So just adopting that sort of curious mindset, just trying to see what's here, not trying to change it. And I want you to just drop into your experience right now. Close your eyes and just maybe ask yourself the question, what is this? What is this experience that I call me or I? This feeling of being that's here. I just want you to just rest there for a moment, just dropping in. It doesn't matter if you get carried away by thoughts or agitation or feelings or sounds or whatever's going on. Just notice that the feeling of being alive is present throughout all of it. Even if your attention darts off in different directions, the feeling of being is always there to notice, to come back to. In a way, it's not touched by any of it. It's just steadily shining in the background. Now, I want you to examine with the open curiosity that we spoke about. I want you to examine something about your experience. And that is the sort of general idea or impression that you might have that you exist as a separate entity within a larger reality that we call the world. The impression that you're in here, in this body, within a wider reality of the world. And I just want you to call into question that perspective for a moment, silly as it might sound, and just try to find the exact point where the experience that you call you comes to an end, and what you call the world begins. If there's two things going on here, if there's you and the world, there must be some kind of boundary or stoppage point of you. There must be some kind of place where the two supposed realities meet each other. Just look for that point. You might go to the sensation of the skin, but if you examine what you call skin closely, you still don't find any definition, any evidence that it stops anywhere and another reality begins. There's no definitive wall. I mean, you could look anywhere and find the same. You can examine your back for a definitive point where you stop and something else begins. Your feet, your chest, your head. It's kind of just this blurry, undefined sort of presence. Just explore that for a minute. And the more you examine this belief that you're separate and contained, and you look for the evidence of that and come up empty-handed, the more you lose the sense that you're separate from the world, separate from others, separate from what's going on. You lose the feeling gradually that you're small, that you're vulnerable. I want you to also, while you're exploring the contours of your experience, I want you to also ask the question, since there's no boundary here between me and the world, where is the center of my experience? If I start to acknowledge that I have no boundaries, I have no shape, there's just this open presence, then where could the center be of an undefined open space? Just like with the experience of skin, you might think you can find a center where experience emanates from. But if you look closely at what you're calling a center, that too is undefined. It's not there in any sort of concrete way. There's just this open space. So this separate, central you that you take yourself to be, whose life you're worried about, who's thinking your thoughts, who's making your decisions. Where is it? Can you find a definitive point within this open space called you?